Hi, and welcome to this week's 2-minute art hack. What have we got for you today? It's all about comparative measurement, something we talk about a lot in the Art Academy. So, what are comparative measurements that these people keep talking about? Well, that's when you look at it's really good actually for drawing from life, because you're looking for things to measure that are about the same. So comparative measurements. The measurement from the bottom of the chin to the bottom of the nose is about the same as the bottom of the nose to the eyebrow. For example, that's a comparative measurement. We might look at the width of the nose and say, okay, where does that fit? That's about from the edge of the eye to the edge of the corner of the shadow here. We may look at, okay, difficult to see in this picture, but where does the bottom of the ear line up? Is that lining up with the bottom of the nose? What are our angles? Does that angle equal this angle? That's all comparative measurements. So how do we work with comparative measurements? We're out drawing from life. You see people with their arm raised and you're like, well, what are they doing? Well, what you do is you get something straight and solid. You always stand with your arm out straight, because if you start bending your arm, that measurement changes. So if you stand now, put your arm out and measure a thing, I'm now measuring the camera. Now that's that high. But if I then transferred that onto a drawing and I bent my arm, it's going to be different again. And then you're not going to get the same measurement when I say, okay, it's that wide. If I do this, that's not going to work. So keep your arm out straight, then you get the correct comparative measurements. You're measuring like for like, which is what we're wanting to do. I also, usually if I'm standing up, I'll make a note of where my feet are. So I'm always standing in the same place where I'm taking my measurements. So comparative measurements, really, really easy to find and use to make sure that initial drawing is as good as possible before you start turning that into a finished piece. Practice sketchbooking. That's the best way to practice comparative measurements. So I have gone over time again. Subscribe, like, make a comment, come join the Academy. You know where we are. And I'll see you next week for another 2-minute art hack. Bye.